Hey there, Hawkmen! The Comics Kid 2099 here to talk about an episode of Green Lantern the Animated Series titled Flight Club. And the first rule of Flight Club is that we definitely talk about it because it would be very hard to do a review about it otherwise. There will be spoilers in this upcoming plot synopsis, so go watch the episode before you go any further in this review. And with that being said, the Red Lanterns plan to use a portal thing to invade Oa and destroy it, but the portal needs a password, which a Thanagarian on the former Spider Prison has. Problem is, this Thanagarian is extremely untrustworthy, so Hal and the rest of the crew has to be very clever in how they get this password so that they can stop the Red Lantern invasion. So I've said before that Hal doesn't strike me as much of a thinker. He's more of a shoot first, ask questions later kind of guy. And I still stand by that. Of all the crew, I would say Razor and Aya are more brains than Hal, but it's nice to see that there is a bit of a strategist in Hal every once in a while. Case in point, Hal and Kilowog see very quickly that Bith, a nice reference to the first foe the Silver Age Hawkman and Hawkwoman fought, is not to be trusted, so they have to think fast to save the universe. Hal tricks Bith not once but twice. First, when he and Bith are about to shake hands, he says that he would like to look Bith in the eyes, an Earth custom, so he asks Bith to remove his helmet. Now, if I was Bith, I think this would be a little bit suspicious, since Bith's helmet has a transparent visor, so it's not like his eyes are being covered or anything. But this kinda silly Earth custom is so that Aya can put one of the mind control things that we saw from Razor's Edge on his helmet, so they can trick him into getting the real code and not the fake one that he gave them earlier. It's a little silly, but it's necessary for the plot to move forward, much like Hal's next bit of trickery. Hal asks Bith to help the crew of the Interceptor fight off the Red Lanterns, who have come to the prison to take the code, and Bith takes his fellow Hawkmen and they escape, leaving our heroes to defend themselves. And Hal was counting on that to happen, as the Reds see the Hawkmen escaping and follow them. But shouldn't the Hawk people have seen that coming? Like I said, it's nice to see Hal use his brain, but unfortunately, Hal's plan only succeeded because Bith was dumb twice, and not because it was a fantastic plan. But that really is a nitpick. Yes, this is a big part of the episode, but I did enjoy the overall piece, so me complaining about this is still a nitpick. And speaking of nitpicks, the Green Lantern ring that remains on the corpse of the Lantern who shared a cell with Bith. First of all, why is a non-Thanagarian sharing a cell with Bith? In this episode, all the Thanagarians are in one big room, and I don't get the impression that the little squid guy is responsible for that. But more importantly, why doesn't the ring return to Oa when this Lantern dies? They act like it's because he was in the Yellow Rock room, so the ring was powerless. But remember the Frontier Lantern who died in the first episode, and it took 18 months for his ring to make it to Oa? And remember how we are told simultaneously that rings are based on willpower, but also you have to charge it daily? So if that thing took 18 months to get to Oa, then it sure as heck was not carrying a charge by the time it got home. So this guy's ring still being on the corpse does not really make any sense based on what we've been told in this series. Now, I do believe Bith shows up pretty soon after this episode, so maybe the ring he took will play a part in his next appearance, in which case it's similar to Hal's plan in this episode. A little silly, but necessary for the plot to happen. I don't know, maybe this ring doesn't show up again. I guess we'll see the next time we see Bith. We don't get to see very much at all from Razor or Aya, but that's fine because there really wasn't much for them to do in Bith's fight deal with his fellow Thanagarians. And it does make sense that Aya, who is entirely made of Green Lantern energy, cannot function in a room full of the Yellow Stones. Heck, that was even set up in Razor's Edge. So anyway, this is a fun episode. It's got a couple of flaws with the continuity and the basic plot mechanics, but I can forgive all of that because we got to see Hawk people, guys. I've heard people lament that this show and Beware the Batman didn't get a chance to cross paths, and yeah, that would have been pretty sweet. Set up a Justice League series in the same style as these two shows. I would have watched the heck out of that. And with this episode, you would have already had the Hawks set up, sort of. But alas, it was never meant to be. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and this review. And if you did, throw down some likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. And remember, I also do videos during the week, so be sure to check those out also. And I'll be back next Saturday with another review of an episode of Green Lantern the Animated Series. So until then, I hope you guys have a great day. Catch you later.